Hi guys, my name is Maria Totova and I'm going to talk about progressively decoupled Drupal today. First, a few words about me. I'm a backend developer at Trio Interactive International. I'm also a board member of Drupal Bulgaria, that's the main Drupal organization in my country. And during my free time, I volunteer as a core engineer, education manager, leader and instructor at Coding Girls. Probably you have already seen some stickers that I've left outside of Drupal Girls. This is actually a subdivision of Coding Girls, and we're trying to attract more ladies in the Drupal community by organizing free workshops, courses, and all kinds of events. Also Drupal camps for, actually Drupal boot camps for beginners. And let's continue. Oh, I don't want to forget to thank you for inviting me to be here, because Serbia is very important for me due to the fact that I have worked with a lot of Serbian guys, and my first Drupal mentor is a guy from Niš. So I'm really happy to be here today. Just a few words about Drupal Girls. As I told you, we organize free meetups, workshops. We make events during the Drupal Global Training Days and the European Code Week. We gather at our space that my company let us use. Usually I'm working with high school and university students. It's called Drupal Girls, but actually it's all about integration, and most of the time we have half of the participants men and women. So yeah, sometimes they accuse me of being a feminist, sometimes they accuse me of not being a feminist, so I'm above these things. I hope you enjoy it, and we are all, during all the time we're looking for more mentors and speakers willing to join. If you have happened to come to Plovdiv, please reach out to me. And now, about progressively decoupled Drupal. First, I would like to ask you, how many of you have tried building a decoupled website before? Yeah, progressively, fully decoupled? Yeah, okay. So, we have been using Vue.js and Drupal for building several projects. And yeah, it was more fun for the front-end developers. Yeah, they enjoy Vue.js. And we had some troubles on the back-end side. And these are the things I would like to highlight today. I'm not a front-end developer. I'm just a back-end developer. But I'll try to cover a little bit of Vue.js as well. First, for the back-end, of course, we used Drupal. And the core module Rest, together with the serialization, which is a dependency. And that's it. We don't use any other modules for building our projects. Then, for the front-end part, of course, we use Vue.js, and it makes use of components that require JSON data. And that's the little hassle about preparing that JSON data and structuring it in the way that our front-end devs need it. And Vue.js uses those components that keep the markup and all the magic. We have been using it to build different kinds of projects, but most of the time these are corporate websites and quite complex ones with yeah, some design tricks. You know that the design can harder a lot one project. So some things that you have to consider, I have structured them like pipeline development, abundant functionalities, excessive custom code, cacheability problems, or things to have in mind actually. Not so security issues, but things to be careful about, and maintenance, of course. You know what pipeline development is? Of course. It let us use the best of our backend and front-end developers. And you know that Vue.js is one of the most modern JavaScript frameworks, and that's why our front-end developers love it. And that's why they insisted on trying and use it for our projects. But sometimes they need data that is quite complex, and it should be structured in a better way. So you cannot really use what Drupal gives us out of the box. You have to pre-process and prepare that data. And that's the real problem sometimes. And unfortunately, while we have more fun on the back end while building new functionalities and focusing on that part, actually most of the time that we worked on this project was spent on providing JSON data and structuring that data instead of building new functionalities. And we were actually rewriting some of the Drupal functionalities. One thing that most of our editors really love and they insist on having is the contextual editing and administration. But when we use Vue.js components, we don't have these contextual fields on anymore, these contextual links. And that's unfortunate. But that's not the biggest problem, so let's follow. Yeah, you know about the responsive images module that's in core. It's very great. We use it a lot and we prepare it on the backend side before we even start doing all the rest. But we cannot make use of the Blaze module as Vue.js have some problems with it, and actually our front-end developers take care of it. But we found out when we have already started a project, and it was unfortunate to rework again. Yeah, a bit annoying thing. We all use tweak debug and develop module, and we can see all the team suggestions and all the bugging information in the Chrome DevTools, for example. But due to Vue.js, we don't see these suggestions anymore. And then you have some front-end developers asking you about which template I should use here, which there. Actually, there's an easy solution for this. You can just inspect the source code. And there you see all the information, but not in the DevTools. Yes, when we speak about accessibility and UX possibilities, we don't have to forget that since we are not using the render arrays of Drupal, we cannot rely on the accessibility stuff that Drupal provides us, like the alt tab, for example, for the images. So this is something that front-end developers should have in mind and take care of. Just small note. And yeah, here's the little hassle that we had. It's all about the excessive custom code. And yeah, we have to pre-process a lot of the data that we want to give to the front end. And we need to structure it in the way our front end devs need it. And we use Vue.js for, how to say, animation-like elements, such as galleries, accordions, tabs, menus, sliders, and so on. And this is the tricky part where you have to fetch the content to take care. Sometimes we have to make queries to the database. And the easiest solution that I found and I really enjoyed is writing a custom serializer for the views module. It's a style plugin where you can more easily prepare the data you needed just in the format you wanted in the same structure. Yeah, we need to build sometimes a custom module to fetch the data, but as developers, it's not a big problem because we enjoy writing some code. And what are the consequences of this pre-processing of data and providing that JSON data? Well, the tricky part is that not everything that you see on the admin panel is what you have sent to the front end. And things like the view modes on nodes, the views config. Actually, you have a REST export, and since due to the fact that you use a serializer, the data that you provide there is not visible on the admin panel. And it can be tough for new developers that join the project. It's a little tricky. Of course, during all that pre-processing and data preparing, it takes more time to develop a website than the usual monolithic way. And yeah, it's difficult either both for developers from the same company or if your project goes to another company. And as good developers, we try to always write code that is easy to read and understand by other developers too. Yeah, I already told you about Drupal rendering. Since Drupal progressively decoupled Drupal means that we are still using the theme layer of Drupal. We use the tweak system, but we are not using the render arrays, and we are just giving the raw data in JSON format. And that's why we have to also fetch and prepare the data that comes from, for example, reference fields like media, paragraphs, and you see now where the more work comes from. And unless you have built custom menu items, custom menus before programmatically, you may not know, but we should make use of these manipulators, and especially the menu default tree generate index and sort, because it turned out that we have given the data, the menu data or the menu items in the JSON format to the front end, but then when you started to sort the menu, to rearrange the items, we found out that it's not working. And why it wasn't working? Because we haven't added these manipulators. Actually, there was a good article. I think I have put a link. Yeah, it's here. It's actually also provided on the official documentation, which I found later. But yeah, once you know it, it's very easy to fix this. It's about cacheability problems and auto bubbling. Sometimes when we provide the data, the cache invalidation doesn't work, and that's why we have to invalidate our text. This is due to the fact that we are not using the rendering system, the render arrays. And you have to be careful with menus and views. About security issues, this is just a small note, not a big problem. We know that the JSON data is visible on the source code, and that's just a small note to be careful on what data you're sending. So sensitive data shouldn't be in JSON format. And in the end, it all comes to maintenance, because it's not only about building a project. You have to maintain it after that. And every time your client wants a change, you can't just go and change the view or change the display modes. And because, as you know already, the data is pre-processed before that, you have to go and change the custom code as well, which is a bit overhead. And of course, for new developers, this can be kind of messy and more hard to get started. So what we do is writing some good comments and some documentation. But in long story short, when you choose if I should use progressively decoupled Drupal or not, you have to have in mind the complexity of your project, because we had several projects that were smaller with not so complex design, and they work just lovely. And its development doesn't take too much time, and the front-end developers, our front-end developers, were very happy of using Vue.js, and as far as I have seen, it has a very nice syntax. I have touched here and there, but not too much. And in the end, we all should enjoy our work, and we should use modern technologies. And Drupal let us do this, which is great. We only need to consider some of these things that I have pointed out and will be safe. Yeah, it's all about the decision, because a wrong decision may bring more trouble than benefits, so choose well when you're starting your project. And this is a quote that I like to show. It's from Preston Searle's book, which is amazing. I recommend it. It's if you are building a traditional website and you can use jQuery and you don't need any fancy JavaScript framework, then just use monolithic Drupal. And this is the decision that we took at our company. That's the way we are going to work with other projects. And rather than using progressively decoupled Drupal, we are going for fully decoupled, especially when we have consumer applications. And I'm looking for the next project on that. So this is for me. And I'm willing to hear some of your questions. I really like discussions. Yeah. Yeah, we are market. Why you should pick Vue.js over React? This is the question. I forgot to tell you that we are working at a marketing agency, and we have that freedom to choose the frameworks we work with. And why we chose Vue.js? Because our front-end developers were skilled at it, and they love Vue.js. But for the fully decoupled Drupal projects, we are going to use React, and we are even using it now. So yeah, I'm more of a fan of React than Vue.js. What are the main steps by Drupal girls, coding girls, to bring more female developers into the world of development? Okay. Well, I'm part of Coding Girls for the last 2.5 years, which is since the beginning. We are an international movement, a non-profit organization with a lot of communities around the world. We have a great community on the Philippines. We've now started in Uganda, Africa, and we have also in Luxembourg, in Austria, in Germany. We are organizing free events almost every week, without the summer break, of course, due to all the holidays. But we aim to provide more knowledge to more people, both women and men. And we're doing this by exactly providing these free courses and workshops. We do this every week, every Thursday. And so far we have had many Drupal events, also front-end courses like HTML, CSS, courses on React, on Vue.js, on vanilla JavaScript as well. And there is a lot of interest every time. And sometimes we have to select our participants because we have like 15 seats available at our office. But the interest is really great. And as I thought, and I spoke with some of you yesterday, the interest towards Drupal is really great. Big in Bulgaria, I'm working with high school and university students, going to the university, taking interns. But the tricky part is that they grew fond of Drupal, but then they cannot start a job, since most of the companies are looking for more medium to senior developers. However, I'm trying to change this. I'm constantly reaching out to companies, and if you can help in some way, or you know somebody, feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, that's why we are called Drupal Girls, Coding Girls, because most of the ladies, they need a little push. They need to feel your support. And when you announce an event that it's specifically designed for ladies, more women are likely to come, and they come, I can tell you this. We have even had a workshop with children, and I had this feedback from their parents saying that, yeah, I brought my daughter only because your event was announced for suitable for girls. Otherwise, we wouldn't take her here. And even the children, the little girls, they enjoyed, and they did really well. We used Scratch to teach them first steps in programming. So it really matters when you announce events, especially for ladies, unfortunately, but it's true. Have you considered using Drupal GraphQL module for data retrieval? Yes, we are going to use it, and we are using it for fully decoupled projects. For our progressively decoupled projects, we didn't because the REST module provides us all the data, and it's not only about getting the specific field data or something, it's more about structuring it. And when I told you that we work on more complex corporate projects, so imagine a website with lots of different kinds of events, both B2C, B2B, and different calendars, a lot of different view modes, teasers, and so on. And this is what makes the project more complex, actually. But yeah, REST and serialization modules work just perfect for smaller websites. For example, for some company websites, it's just fine. And that was the final question. Do you have any more questions? Yeah. I can ask a few. I saw some hands before that you're using progressively decoupled Drupal. Have you used Vue.js for this project? No? You use React, probably? React, yeah. Was it nice experience? Yeah, yeah. I have to consider this, yeah. So, and you said you're using Vue.js? Yeah, so I've heard, and that's why our developers also use it. Well, I hope it was helpful to you, and I don't want you to give up from decoupling Drupal, because it's really great and nice experience, just some stuff to know before that. Thank you.